You're muted. I thought I got everything right. Dang it. Well, okay. I got almost everything right, everything but I'm muting myself. So good evening again. I already said it, but now you get to hear me. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Divinely Designed 21st Century Women. We are 5 of a party of 8. My name is Lundzine, and I'm here with Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Tasha. And also greetings to Sochi and to Leslie and to Anita. Hi, and hi. We love you and we miss you. Geneva and I are like straight off of the vacation boat, like as in just getting home yesterday. So we'll probably talk about that just the slightest little bit. And we probably have some other interesting things. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and Crystal's going to open us in prayer. And then we're going to kind of just talk about what we would have talked about backstage since we didn't have enough time to talk about it backstage. Lindsay's going to mute now. Crystal, take it away.
Sure will. Hi, ladies, and welcome, everyone. Whoa, Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for your impartation, and we thank you for your insight. We thank you for ears to hear and eyes to see, and a voice to speak exactly what you want to bring forth during this program. We thank you for the guests that will be joining and the family that will be joining and those that will be hearing the rebroadcast the rebroadcast. We thank you most of all, Holy Spirit, for your presence. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Actually, I did press the mute button before, or the unmute button, and it just didn't want to do it. So anyway, last week we broadcast from the condo that we were staying at. We were staying at a resort in Orlando, Florida. I have a tendency, as y'all know, I might tell you I'm out of town, but I don't like to give a lot of details until I get back home. Even though my home wasn't empty, there's somebody staying there, but my brother lives here too. But at any rate, we just didn't say that. So we went to Orlando, Florida, and it was vacation because in December, I was supposed to go to Arizona. I did go to Arizona, and I was supposed to be going for vacation, but we were working, and Geneva had come with me. And I want to touch on something that pertains to that. And so since we ended up working all the time, it was like, well, we need to go on an actual vacation where you vacate the premises. And it came up an opportunity to go back to Orlando, which I'd been trying to do for about 2 years now. And so it opened up for us to do that. And I was like, Jenny, do you want to come? Because my daughter and I were doing this as our Mother's Day happy birthday. Raina's birthday. It's a lot of information, but it has a place to go. My daughter's birthday is May 11th. Mother's Day this year for America is May 12th. And so what we thought was, well, we'll treat ourselves to the airline tickets and so forth, and we'll go on vacation. And then we invited Geneva because it was like, hey, you didn't really get time away because we worked. All right. Having said that, the thing about Jenny going, that is, and Crystal can testify to this. Crystal was also supposed to go, but some other things happened, and so she wasn't able to make the trip on this particular one. I go off on these pastoral, they call them pastoral breaks or something like that. It's just time away. But I learned after about 5 years ago, that it was time for me not to travel by myself anymore. And we had a dear friend, most of you know, or some of you know, her name was is still, I'm sure, or maybe not, Christina. And Chrissy used to go with me on all of these different trips. She just would come and bring all of her stuff, and she'd work because she worked from home. So she was able to just work during the time away. And then when she passed away a couple of years ago, that was kind of the end of that, the ability to do that. Come on in, Sochi. So, so I was going, and Chris's schedule is a little different because she still has a daughter at home, and she wasn't able to do this necessarily. And God just put Geneva in the spot, you know? It was like, for whatever reason, Jenny's able to drop stuff and just go. And we would meet up in different places. And it was very much a blessing. One of the fun things, and this is a thing about Jenny that is just like Chrissy, is they like to cook and they know how. And Geneva kind of takes over. We all those little TikTok recipes I was sending you guys, she is making them. So we were actually doing like those cottage cheese with fruit and all. We were doing it, and I mean, we were having ourselves a ball. Barbara Maitland, I got to talk to on the phone. We didn't get a chance to see her this time. Hey, Barbara. And but I got to talk to Barbara in Florida while I was there, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm coming back. I'll definitely we're going to aim for it again in December, actually. But my point about all of this, and it goes back to friendship, is the fact that God gives you people in your life that are able to accompany you on the things that you need, where you need someone to be with you. And so I said, wow, because it's me, I said, yeah, we probably need to tell people we do have a special relationship, but it ain't that kind of special relationship. but she could tell you, you know what we loved about it? We were looking for an old town kind of atmosphere, and we found it where you have the vintage stores and you've got the coffee shops and you've got all the other stuff. But I think once we were starting out really well, going here, going there, going someplace else, until we came across this little tea and spice store. And when I tell you, we did manage on Saturday, I think it was, to go a few other places as well. But we just kept finding our way back to this place. It got to the point, because we went every day. It was like going to work, because it was a bit of a commute to get there. And we would go in there every day, to the point that they were like, gosh, you guys are back. Well, we need to start hugging. And so we were exchanging recipes and chatting with people. And it was just my kind of place. So we're back. Hi. And that's it. Friends. God gives you friends. God gives you people to fit every single part of your lives. Have you guys ever stopped to think, well, how do we fit in each other's lives? What are our how do you think we connect to each other? And then even to let's see, Miss Barbara, of course, Miss Sheila Williams, and Crystal, and also Monique. Where are you at? Because we don't. I know you're here. You got to be here. Thank you. I'm gonna call you. Anybody else? Are you there? Let us know. Say hi, say hey, thumbs up, do something, just to let us know that you're. Because some of our viewers don't join us anymore because they're supporting an Arizona Zoom meeting, and so we know we're not going to see everybody that we used to. But still, we like you. We really, really do. So yes, friends and all that kind of stuff. How do we fit in each other's lives? Anybody want to take a go at that, or whatever else Michelle comes up with tonight? Because she's going to be the one she's the relationship expert. So she's going to be the one that takes over the relationship stuff. Lanzita's retiring. Glory to God for a moment. Okay, shut up. That's me. I'm talking to me.
Well, I jump in because I was the friend there. It is, I don't want to say amazing, but it is amazing at the same time, because God knows exactly what we need when we need it. And the person to bring those things into our lives, to speak to areas that we didn't even know we needed speaking to. Um, Lonzine gives me stability. She gives me a steadiness that sometimes I lack, because I tend to overreact sometimes to initial situations. And she brings me peace because she has peace. And that's that's something that I was missing in my life. Um, Friendship. It's it's the thing that will help see us through. The thing that allows us sometimes when we most need it to hear what someone else sees in us that we don't see in ourselves. And yet it sparks that spiritual acknowledgement that there is something there, that there is value in this life we're living. So I'm thankful to have friendships, and I'm thankful for everyone on this screen and our two precious sisters who are absent tonight. Um, this is not a place where I've found myself very often in my life because I am quite an introvert, but I'm thankful for each and every one of you in my life. Now, somebody else.
I'm jumping in. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. And again, hi to everyone. Um, and thank you, Mrs. Williams. I truly, as I've said to you even privately, I thank you. Um, Besides my sister, not having met Mrs. Williams in person, she is a big encourager to me. But that's part of friendship. And I what I love about it, even with my sister, and hi Crystal out there in West Virginia. But I'm thankful for um who I can call friend. It's the person, all that you said, Jenny, but it's the person also um that doesn't just allow me to, you know, run and do without wisdom. They you know, they're willing to talk and give insight, and also um, just make sure that because we are kingdom minded, making sure that, you know, we represent the Lord well. And not only that, but then when we want to cry a little bit, they have their shoulder there to say, okay, you can use my shoulder to cry on. And then it's like a multifaceted person. And at the same time, when I want to put on my superhero cape, they allow me to put on my cape and fly, and without, you know, without hesitation, you know. And even though she's my biological sister, that's how my sister is. Like, we'll be like, okay, you know, you can do this, and then she'll say it to me, you can do this too. It's like having I don't know, your own personal cheerleader, um root supporter. And it's like you need those individuals because of sometimes the things, you know, we walk out some challenging days, and even in the midst of walking out those challenging days, that person that will just come in at the right time, whether they know the situation or not, and say something to you. And it's like, I so appreciate you. I so appreciate who you are in my life. And, you know, God gives us people at the right time, those friends where, you know, and he strategically, you know, we talk about him being the master strategist when it comes to like a chess player. He knows who to put in your life at the right time, and for the right seasons. And it's like there's there's no animosity, there's no, you don't feel any twinges or any, you know, anything there that shouldn't be there. You know that that this person, whether this is for the long haul or even for whatever season that God has them there for, it's like I thank God for you. I so thank God for you. And we don't have to be on the phone every day. We don't have to be in each other's face every day. But, just those times, it's like God purposed you to, be in, I say personally, my life, and just to say the right things at the right time when you all probably don't even have an idea of anything specific going on. And it's like just hearing a certain word is like, wow, God, thank you. So like it's different levels to me, but each level that you can actually use the word friend, the one that loves at all times, I'm so grateful to be able to use the word friend.
Almost got me over here in tears. Dang, Michelle. My God. Just sitting here listening to you and Geneva. It's so true. It really is true. I don't, I have two younger sisters who are not, we don't really communicate like that, but I love them where they are, and that's all great. But God also, He's so good to us that He brings sisters into your life where it's needed. And that's what I found, that I've never been, I've never had a sister that's like here with me that I can share with, but I have sisters that are here with me that I can share with, that God gave me. You know what I mean? So I think that is an amazing thing for me, from coming from all the way from Philadelphia to California, God planting me here and bringing family to me, or me to family, however you want to put it, from a whole nother coast. So it's just amazing how, I've just seen over the years how He's done things with me, and God shows you how He meets your need. And also, one of the things that I've seen over the last couple of weeks, just being able to listen and hear someone else's need, hearing, oh wow, okay, they need me, they need my prayers, they need this. I can hear something that where I'm needed, and I can really step in without even having to say, you know what, I'm praying for you, I'm doing this for you. I don't have to say it. It's just the how God gives you that impression on your heart, and you just do it. And yeah, today I'm going to do this because I know that person needs me, where I have fallen short a lot of times, but gosh, it's never too late. So what you were saying was right on, Michelle, and you too, Geneva. I know how it is to go on vacation and really have a vacation. You guys, I'm so happy for you because you really had a vacation. You did not come and tune into the goings on of what, because we're all in ministry together. So you really took a vacation, and that's really needed. And I'm so proud of you for that. I'm seriously, that is. That's it for me right now.
You guys brought the peace back with you, because I could feel it. But everything, all you guys are saying is just, I'm honored to have such a large company of sister friends. And I'm not sure if it was Lonzine that made up that statement, but I remember hearing that and I thought, wow, that is so true. It's sister friend. Was it you? I'm not sure. It was somebody here. Sister friend? Okay. Well, for me, I find that it's wonderful to have sisters, and it's wonderful to have a friend in my sister. So that's been a term that I've picked up, and there's certain, I know that we don't talk all the time, but I can hear your voices. When I need encouragement, I hear Sochi, I hear you. There's times I remember, it's like you just encouraged me one day and you saw me and you were just like, this is what I see in you. And that has always stuck with me. Michelle, I know that I can always count on you for prayer. Like I hear your prayers, and it ministers to me. Geneva, we have the same heart. I can go down the whole list. I know that I can call any one of you guys for encouragement. I know that you pray for me. I know I'm honored. Like when I talk to people, I'm like, I am so lucky I'm so blessed to have, I'm surrounded with women, a company of women that have my back and I have theirs. And it's that song, Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on. Let's be friends. Come on, Michelle. That we can have fun together. And yeah, a friend loves at all times. And I don't know, I get all choked up when I think about it, But I think of Barbara Maitland, the first time I was at a conference with her, and Barbara, I know you're here, and just sitting across the table from you, and just your beautiful face. There's times in the week that I think of you, and I just think, gosh, she's all the way out there in Florida, but I just feel you. It's like I think of cousin Hester. I've never met her. But I'll tell you, I'll be in the middle of my week and there's things that she says on here that are so humorous and they stick with me and they minister to me. It just brings me joy. I remember that one time she talked about watching, she's like, "What is like, I'm sitting on my couch eating my popcorn, watching you ladies, And it just brings joy. It's wonderful. So I value all you guys.
Well, I love you all dearly, dearly, dearly do. But I'm a triple melancholy with the shot of compulsiveness. So I think I consciously have to think to like call or reach out to people because I just kind of tend to withdraw. But that doesn't stop me from loving you all or from like I don't because I didn't have biological sisters, so I don't know what that type of bond is. And so I don't know. I just know I love you all. Zina's amazing. Just met her. Aw, beautiful. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
I sat next to her on the plane yesterday. Hi, Desiree. Carry on so cute.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's really interesting to hear you all be that expressive about friends and sisterhood, and it's beautiful. And like I said, I love you all, and I love listening and reading the comments and getting to meet people that are here. But it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just different because or maybe I just don't know what that is. Like I don't think I will just call y'all to just talk. I feel like I'm wasting your time, unless we got a purpose, unless we're going to do something. Or, if we're hanging out to laugh or we're hanging out to be, then, that's the purpose, to hang out, to be. But I don't know, to just like call somebody. I don't know. Maybe I should practice it. I don't know.
No, you know what it is. You said triple melancholy. That means that you have a lot of conversations with us that we don't know about. Because by the time you finish talking to us in your head, you ain't got nothing else to say. So if we call, it's like, well, why are you calling me now? We've already had a really great conversation. It's like, Sochi, I wasn't in it. Well, you should have been. It was good. Because I was telling you this and I was telling you this and I was telling you that. You didn't hear me? Why didn't you hear me? Because it was all up in your head. That's why we didn't hear you. But for you, it was great. And so that's part of it. Since I have a little bit of that myself, I argue with people. I have my argument with you without you even showing up for it, so that I can tell you everything I'm thinking. I can feel everything about and I'm so ticked at you. And I have already forgiven you by the time you show up eating your popcorn going, what's up? I'm able to look back at you. I might glare at you for a minute. Like, how could you say that after everything you did that I've argued with you about that you don't remember? Because I never actually talked to you, but that's why. So we know how to find you. I mean, part of the thing is the conversations that we have in the our chat, our team chat, and part of it is the fact that if somebody reaches out, it's like it can turn into a distress call with you, and then it's like, okay, moving on now. Here, so we'll get to you. So I think what I'm trying to tell you is, don't worry about it, girl. We'll come after you. You got nothing to worry about at all. I'm gonna pass it over to Michelle because I know she's got something on
I
her
just want to
mind.
say one thing before Michelle starts, because I think this is true for our whole team, that we don't have to talk every day, but when we do talk, it's like I just talked to you yesterday. I know that's how I feel when I talk to each one of y'all. Oh, we just talk, even though I may not have talked to you last week, but it feels like it when I do get to talk to you. So it's like we haven't missed any time. So I just want to throw that out there. And maybe it's sanguine in me, but that is exactly how I feel. And it's so true.
And I believe also with that we're, because I'm not going to say age plays a role, but our mindsets are different than they were when we were in our teens or 20s, where we did sit on the phone and just chatter and just chat. And that's not something that, is part, I mean, it's not part of my, makeup with, people. I occasionally, like, and I don't even, I'll text with my sister every day, but I'm not on the phone with her every day. And it's the way, it's just the way life is. But posing a question, that's where I'm going to take it, still regarding friendships. But we were talking about all of us and our sister friend or sisterhood friendships, but do any of you have that with a man? Do you have that level of friendship, whether it's a brother, biological or not? Do you, or was it even in your mindset to even have that ability? Because again, we're talking about having the mindset we have now as we talk about kingdom talk. So is there a form of or level of friendship? And for me, again, it's a little different because as I've spoken, Ryan is my best friend. So, that's different because he and I are married. But do you have that level of friendship, ladies, with someone who is a man that you can, even converse with? Because I've known some ladies, a part of the kingdom, who not that they're not friends with women, but like their bestie may be, a male counterpart. So is that something that you all, do you have that? Is it easier for you? Um, yes, ma'am, Miss Williams, that's how I am too. Um, and but is that something like you find to be a little easier with, you know, um, being a part of the kingdom, but do you converse with, somebody you consider a brother, but you can really, talk with them like we talk, like ladies, and I don't mean the chatter, but I mean that, that talk and sharing and being able to share certain things and pour into one another. That's my question.
Let me go on record as saying the question you just asked, I was laughing because I was looking at everybody's face like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. And I'm just personally, I'm not answering it first. I'm not. I'm going last. I claimed it. But I will say this. It feels good not to be the one that just did what you did. Ooh, Michelle, you gonna have to call on folks because ain't nobody gonna be raising their hands on this one.
I'm
I don't think it's a bad question or like a startling question. I think it's a good question. But to think when I think about it, do I um oh am I I'm echoing for some reason. Okay. Um you know what? I there's a couple of men that are just my buddy friends that, but we don't talk as often as I talk with you ladies. You know what I mean? And so, but we can have conversations where we talk about ministry, about whatever, and just laugh and have a good time. But I can, it's not many. It's like maybe one or two that I can actually recall right now. And it's just been that way. Not that I've tried to avoid it or anything like that. It's just how it rolled out for me, you know?
Before you stop with that, please do me a favor. Do us a favor. Elaborate a little bit on what it to pull a little bit more on what Michelle was saying. or
Mhm.
asking, what kind of conversations are they that you're able to have? Is that where you were going with part of this, Michelle? Yeah.
Well, what kind of well, pretty much about everything, even about their women friends that they or what they like, and we could talk about the word. We could talk about you know, food, the same things I talk with you guys about, except maybe not in the depth that I talk to you. I guess that would be more to say. We laugh, we kind of, see how each other's doing. But it is a difference. Not that I try to make it different, but I mean, from what I've experienced, there is a difference. Like I can, with one of you guys, I could just like open up and just say whatever. But with the two people that I'm thinking of, I only go so far. And I don't know if that's a protection thing. It's just the way it's played out, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But it's not that I'm trying to hide anything from anyone, or I don't want to approach that subject. It just can come up in the where I've in the circles, at least that I've been in.
I'm gonna go next. I want to get out of the hot seat. This is painful. I was like, she did not just. Here we go. Okay. All right. So yes, I think that men. I'm gonna say before this show, before this program, female relationships. It was something that I've had to grow in. The desire to want to have female relationships because of all the hurts and the cattiness and all this kind of stuff, right? So this brought awareness to me. I've been able to walk through. I've been challenged. Like Lonzine would say, you got to show up to the party. These things, right? Early on. So I embrace my sisters here, and I embrace women in general in a completely different way. Not because the past was, I would have said, yes, men are so much easier to be friends with. They're easy to work with. They're not petty. They're not catty. They're not, you don't have to deal with them like you do with, that was my old mindset. So typically, yeah, men were easier to be friends with for me. Do I have one today? Absolutely. I do have a best friend. He is a male. We at one point we're courting, but you know what the thing is he's still my best friend. It's like this circle that keeps going around and around because he's my best friend. That's the one thing that never changes. This man is my best friend. We talk about everything under the sun. Everything. We talk about everything. And I think even more so when we're outside of the courting relationship, we talk about I'm more open. And I think that's pretty interesting when we're friends, like just friends. There's no limit to what I'll open up about. But something about when you're in the relationship, I don't know if it's because you're more I don't know. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But this one thing I noticed is that things are a lot funner, things are a lot lighter on the friendship level, and specific things that we talk about. I don't think there's anything that we don't talk about. It's just even just at times. I think it was a couple weeks ago we were doing something. I'm like, let's go get a pedicure. He's like, I'm not your girlfriend. I said, no, but you're my best friend. And one of these days you're gonna go get a pedicure. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, specific examples. I mean, it could just be anything like about childhood stuff, or I don't know. I mean, just how funny. I mean, just funny things. I can't even. I mean, I can go on. I don't know if I want to say everything, but I don't know. Just things you would do with your friends. Just the basic things. And it's fun. So yes. And other than him, I don't know if I've had a best friend like that. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of the seat now. Sochi, you go.
Well, as I was thinking about it, I think I don't discriminate, whether it's a man or a woman. It's like I'm not calling them either. So, so I treat everybody the same from there. But I do find that I do have conversations with them, but it's usually around business or projects or things like that. So it becomes interesting, and I get engaged in the conversation and can be very transparent about some of the things I've done, like big mistakes with business or people, or things like that. I'm comfortable saying it because it's a safe environment. We're not necessarily like doing things, like we're not hanging out necessarily unless we're at an event, which is usually a business event. So, but I do find it comfortable. But I was raised with my brother and four guy cousins, so I was raised around guys, so I'm comfortable talking to them and not like, I don't see like, oh, I'm a woman or they're a guy or they're a man, or it's just like whatever their first name is like, oh, this is so and so, and we're having a conversation about this or we're having a conversation about that. But I'm learning to pretty much be who I am regardless of who I'm talking to. In doing that, but I think throughout my life it has been easier to talk to men because I'm more familiar with my brother and my cousins, and I saw some of the stuff that they would try to do, and so it's like, I'll try some of that stuff on me. I was raised with boys. So, but yeah, but I don't think I would have conversations with them that I wouldn't have with you all. I mean, and if anything, I would probably, and even then, it's like I'm going to Pastor Lonzine and being very transparent there, but I wouldn't necessarily go around letting everybody else know some of the stuff I've gotten myself into. But yeah, so I think it's, for me, it's kind of the same. But there's no other relationship with me, right? So I'm not in violation, and if they're in relationship, then it's mutual. So there's no crossing of lines or disrespecting anybody. Or sometimes I'm with them and their wife, and we're still talking. And I have to like be conscientious that the wife may not be in business, and so I have to, which is not my norm, to try to bring people into conversations, but I have to, like, I don't have to, but I tend to be very conscientious because they might not have those same interests. And so being at a business function, I try to, and I'm not very, I'm not one to start conversations, but I find that I want to, because I want to make sure that they are involved in the conversation and that they are the center of attention, so yeah, but but I don't feel I'm in the hot seat at all. So next.
I agree. I don't feel like it's a hot seat question. I was trying to think of specifics outside of my family, because I have a younger brother. He's 10 years younger than me. And when we were growing up, he was kind of like my kid. But as adults, we're friends. And I'm like Sochi. I am melancholy compulsive and melancholy in two areas. She's triple, I'm double. The area I'm not melancholy in, I am supine, which means I am sanguine and melancholy combined. So you get the picture. So having a man friend would not be an issue. It would just be having a friend. You ladies are my friends because I put effort into it. I know I don't put a lot sometimes, but I do put effort into it. I have to. A big part of that is because Lonzine and I are friends, and I put a lot of effort into being Lonzine's friend. Not because Lonzine requires a lot of effort, but it requires a lot of effort from me to be a friend to anyone. So I have at times in my life found it easier to be friends with men just because there's not the emotional pull with a man that there can be with women. Yeah, really. Yes. Especially a friend, again, like Lonzine, because she stretches me, she pulls me, she asks me questions and expects me to answer them too, which is sometimes quite annoying. But in the kingdom, I have to be able to be friendly sometimes, as much as that pains me. So this is a good thing for me. It is a good thing. But in answer to your question, Michelle, do I have one right now? It would be my father, because my daddy and I see each other pretty much every day, and we talk about any and everything under the sun. Um, I think of him as one of my best friends, and he thinks of me as one of his best friends. So I do have a male best friend. Um, and absolutely, it's because I think of the, and again, he's my dad, so maybe, but because there's a spiritual connection, there's a between us, that our conversations so often go to a level that is not surface. We talk about the things of the spirit and the things on our heart and the things that God reveals to us. So it's a really deep friendship that other than some of you, I've never experienced that kind of friendship before, and it's wonderful. I love it. I hope that answers your question. I hope that was on topic.
Yeah, I think you should repeat the question just a little, because your mother-in-law just got here. So and then I'll go ahead and make you laugh.
Yes, and hi, Mama D. And we're talking about friendships, and so even with that, and I love what you said, Jenny, especially. Um, we're talking about, well, we did a lot of talking about having sisterhood friendships, and so I posed the question about having a male counterpart friendship. um do are there of the ladies, do they have one? And mainly, how is that friendship? Like, do we treat it, I'm changing the word usage, but do we treat it like we do with the ladies? Do we have that same level of friendship? And even as you said, Crystal, there are some things that we won't talk about, I would assume, with a male figure, that you could share with a woman, in personal areas, but for the most part, talking to but having a male friend and being able to talk to them. But my question was, do they have one? And share on those same lines.
Okay, well, I'm the last person to answer that. Desiree, send me a message through Messenger, and because I'm going to respond to this. I just want to say this very quickly, and I have your question. This beautiful woman here, I met her on the airplane from Charlotte, North Carolina, back to Sacramento, and she and her husband, and they had just come back from the Kentucky Derby, which is so cool. And so Desiree was showing me pictures of all of them in the hats, and they're a gorgeous family, but it was just really, really cool. So I miss you already too. So anyway, messenger me and I'll tell you how to get in touch with me. Okay, that's a great question. And okay, I apologize, everybody, since your facial expressions were geared more towards interest. I still thought it was a hilarious question because it was so beautifully on point. Do I have a male best friend? At this particular time, I'm growing in a friendship. I have a male friend, I do, that is, I can talk to him. We don't talk a lot. We don't, like, we're not everyday type of friends or anything like that. And like lots of men, you don't get the text messages and all that kind of cool stuff because they communicate however it is that they happen to be. I have to laugh at what Geneva said about being my friend. Does it really take that much work? I didn't know. I work at it. Oh, no, wait, Krista, seriously, did you just diss me like that? Oh, she did. Okay, well, hello. Um, oh, I got jokes. What is? All right, I'm high maintenance. I know that. I am high maintenance. I'm not apologizing. I get it, but I'm the good kind of high maintenance. And this is not a quote from When Harry Met Sally. Thank you. I love you too. But now you ain't getting out of this. It's just that because I'm very inquisitive and I really am genuinely interested, or else I wouldn't even bother to be around. And if I sense something, yeah, I like to give hugs. So since we don't see each other a lot, I give hugs like, verbally, or I'm thinking of you, but I'm not a stalker. That's why I have to tell you. Um, it's a side story, and I'll come back to it because otherwise I have to kill a rabbit. But I love the testosterone element, the tenor voice, or the timbre of a male voice. When you telling something, you're not asking them to solve a problem, but a sounding board or an individual that you can interact with. You're not romantically involved. I'm not romantically involved with anybody, um, but I love being able to talk about the things of the kingdom of God, or talk about music from back in the day, or stories, elements of this and that and the other, people's places and things. And so there's a couple of different men that I'm around that the conversations get stuck in a rut, because it's like it's a turntable with uh one rhythm, and so you're it's going to keep turning and turning, and it's always the same conversation. So I like having a friend in my life that is likes to have an adventure. So you can be talking about one thing, and then it'll skip to something else, and then we'll come to another topic altogether. Not a lot of time. Not a lot of time, but the type of friend I hope I am, that keeps you wanting to come back for more, and will actually, if you need to sound off and you need to, I need to vent. He's not going to try to solve the problem, but he will listen, or he will question, and he doesn't let me just I can say whatever it is that I want to say. But if it's not clear, then the questions for clarification. I think that's pretty stellar. And actually, in a way, it's kind of like the same way I do it. So being put on the hot seat, or being held accountable, or something like that, I think it's fabulous. I did not have that kind of thing with my dad. And I have had betrayals with men recently, last year or so, that I thought we were friends, and it turned out it was more really of the brown skin service I provided, in the sense of listening, or, hey, sure, if you need me to help you do something, yes, I can help you do it. And I was really on the verge of becoming, think the word would be cold, which I hate that. And where I was going to let the mistrust of once upon a time in my life maybe have another go, and be able to come back and say, hey, remember when so and so, the old romances, remember, because this seems to be the same type of pattern, or maybe you're repeating a certain pattern, and things like that. One thing I'm sure of is I'm not needy. Another thing I'm very sure of is I'm not desperate, but I am very specific about certain things. And I've also learned, and this is something, Tasha, I want to touch on with you and your bestie, is the fact that I would be the same in the romantic as I am in a platonic, meaning I want to keep the friendship always up in the front, because as much as a man, I hope, appreciate us as a lover, and appreciate us and all the other wifely kind of things, most of the time when the stuff starts hitting the fan, it's your friend that you need, because it's the friend that has your back. And the only time I can think of being, and I get nervous, if it's like, we all do, we go through all that kind of stuff, because we want to be whatever, we want to be special to somebody, if that's where we're going with it. But I think what I'm learning to work on now is just to always bring the same person. Okay, if you court and there's a romantic element, then yay, that means I get to call him more pet names than I call anybody else. Um, maybe that means I get to reach out and be more affectionate, but because you're aware of sexual tension, it's like, yeah, I'm going to maintain a little bit, but, well, I won't even go there, because there's lots of things Lindsay could say, but she ain't gonna say it. So I think that that's basically, um, but you can keep it clean and just, but you can spice it up too, so you can have fun with it. But overall, I'm going to say this. I was talking to a friend and I had said, I recognize that, you go through things and we don't talk for a lot. And and we all have a short list of people that they're my go-tos. We're go-tos and all that. If I need to sound something out, then these are the people that I go to. And I told him, I said, so I get it. I'm not on your short list, and I understand that. But so I can be patient and so forth. And no, you're not on a timetable with me, and all that kind of stuff. And I was very pleasantly, actually, almost to the point of tears, because I am on his short list, and that's honorable to me. He's on mine too, but that's very honorable, that you have a friend that you feel like, this is the part criteria. Who do I have in my life that if I'm in trouble will go to God for me, or will go to God on my behalf? That's the factor in the friendship that means the most to me, that you actually can talk to God and you're confident that he will answer on my behalf. So that's the kind of friend that I have. And there's a couple of others, they're married. So, I'm like what you are, like Sochi was saying, and others are saying, I don't, if I can't be friendly with the wife as well, then I'm not. Michelle's husband, Ryan, that's my little brother now. I love me some Ryan. But even though Michelle is very gracious, and I know that she and Ryan talk all the time, so there is no issue, I'm still going to honor my friend Michelle by how I treat her man and how I approach him. So if I'm going to text him, I tell her, every time I think about texting Ryan, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I ain't texting Ryan at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's Michelle's time to text her husband. That's not my time to text her husband. So it's stuff like that. That's what we're talking about. Does that answer it? How'd I do?
Yes, and I respect you so much. I've always respected you because you do that with others, not just Ryan and I, but you do that with others within, our Love and Unity group. And so that is so honorable to me. And speaking of that, just sharing one last thing that I wanted to share, that one I love about all of you guys, and this to me is also friendship, is that you don't I've had those type of friends that because of a quote end quote um grace gift, ascension gift, they treat you a certain way. Even though they say you're friends, they don't know how to separate the difference. And what I love about you guys is you give honor to who the person is with that anointing or mantle. However, you know how to treat them as a friend and when they need a friend. And that's what I love, because it's like with some people, okay, no, I got to remain stoic. Okay, I, I can't, let this ponytail down. I can't do it. I just gotta, be, this surface. That's it. But with you all, the level of friendship and love you guys have, I appreciate it so much, because I don't have to, if I need to let it down, I can let it down. And it would not take away from the honor of what that grace gift is. And I do that as well. It's like knowing the difference, but yet still giving honor to the person. And I love you guys for that. And I just wanted to add that.
I think that's wonderful. We're about, what is it? We got about 6 minutes before we're at the end, but I think that was a great question. Krista or Latasha, I'm going to tag one of you for next week. I'm just telling everybody, get your questions ready for part of the interview. Why? Because since we're in our home stretch, we've got, I think, 34 more weeks. It seems like a lot, but until we come to the December 30th one, which is our very last broadcast for this program. And one of the things is that it's really great to listen as we've been growing over these past 2.5 years, or almost 2.5 years, to hear the changes in our voices. And yes, I realize overall, out of the full team of 8, we're the 6th most consistent. And Anita is recovering, but I had a talk with her a couple of days ago, and I told her, you're a testimony in process. So don't hurt yourself by trying to come back too early. She's doing well. By the way, Pastor Mark Fox, we want to say greetings to you too. Thank you so much for joining us tonight as well. And if there's anybody we missed, Miss Delia, thank you. Also, I know Michelle acknowledged you. So anybody else that's watching, if you want your name mentioned on TV, this is the time. So you gotta tell us we're watching you. Tell us you're watching, that you're part of this. We'd like to say hello to you, or thumbs up you, or whatever it is that we do. So, and Leslie is doing the different things with her dad. And helping him to recuperate. And also she's working a massive amount of hours, but she's in the airline business. And so we have to understand that with all the different things that are going on, she's being called upon a lot. So that's why, again, I'm saying to people that are watching us, that's what some of the absences have to do with, as far as our team folks are concerned. So that being said, as we're going into the home stretch, it's good to hear the kind of questions that you all have. What kind of things are going on in your minds that you're like, hey, this would be something we'd like to bring to this dialogue, to this table that we have, and to hear what everybody is thinking, or if there's a contribution to it, and things like that. So those are just the things I think that we're going to touch on. Was there anything else anybody wanted to add as far as this question that Michelle has asked? Because one thing, I have one more thing, but I'll go last. So we may as well just kind of come around our home stretch. So Jenny, I'm going to tag you first, and then we'll just go on around. And then I'll end it from there. So, add your final comments as well as whatever other thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. And not as specifically in regards to the question that she asked us at the end there, but to your comments, because you are my pastor, but you're still my best friend. And there have been moments when I've told you, I'm not talking to my pastor now, I'm talking to my best friend. Now, your response to me is always, I'm listening as your best friend, but that doesn't mean your pastor will not address this in the future. And that's the place we are supposed to be, because I have put myself under your authority as my pastor. But yet I have the you know what that means, but I have the freedom to talk to you like a friend. And that's important to me. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
And as a friend, she would sometimes tell me I'm particularly obtuse about things, because I am still clueless in the woods. I don't know why I got in the woods. I don't like the woods, but there you go. Okay.
I love this conversation tonight, and I just think that with friendship, what I value, what I've learned, what I would say in the last 2 years, what I've learned to value most is the transparency, the honesty with each other, whether you be male or female, and the challenge that we bring to each other, whether you be male or female. These are 2 areas in which I've been growing, male or female, the challenge and enjoying that, and the no fear to speak truth, to speak love, and to challenge one another so we grow together.
I like that, Latasha. I don't have anything to add to what your question was, Michelle, but I can say this. When I was laughing about when Jenny was saying it can be difficult, I understand, and the reason why is because the type of person she is, she digs not with intention to hurt, but with intention to heal. And when that happens, it just, depending on your own temperament, it could be like, wait a minute. She should go asking me a question. Do you really want me to answer that? And she does. And you're like, no, not now. No. So I get it. But Gosh, we have some good conversation, guys. So it's been really interesting tonight to have this conversation. And you know what? The other thing I'm going to do real quick about, I guess I do have something to add, Michelle. I never thought about when I talk on the phone with a male, a friend or whatever, I think it's more surface level. It's not real deep. You know what I mean? It's more surface level. And I don't rarely talk to anyone that has a wife that I can recall. I'm saying, not that I wouldn't, but I just haven't been put in that situation. So, I got areas to grow, I guess. Number next.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the pastor friend because it keeps me in check. Because she's my friend, I better not be doing anything I don't want my pastor to know. Okay, I'm done. Thank you all.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were over time. And you can't do anything I don't know about anyway. God tells me what he wants me to know, but he never tells me to judge, find fault with, or to do anything else. I'm your help. My whole point, be as a pastor, as a friend, is to extend a hand and say, I'll walk with you. Okay? That's what I'm here for. I'm more for others because they want it or because they need it. And it's not something that I count it an honor. Bye, Desiree. Talk to you later. I count it an honor. And I want to just say thank you to all of that. And that's to my female friends and my male friends. It's like, wow, what an honor it is that you guys let me in your life. So we also want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. We did go over time, so we apologize for that. We can't help it. Sometimes y'all just get so interesting, or finding that we get healed even as we go. It's our prayer that the same happened for you. You're invited to join. Go to the website for love-unity.org. Find out about the upcoming convergence that is going to take place in Ontario, California, at the end of June. And you can join me tomorrow for Kingdom Conversations. Tomorrow in Kingdom Conversations, I'm continuing to teach on evidence of the kingdom of God in your life. And Jenny's not booking anybody, so I'm going to be doing it for a while. Love y'all so much. We pray that this has ministered, that it has brought grace to you, that you have an understanding, that we mean it when we say you are not just designed, but it is a divine design. And oh my, our God, he's so awesome. We love you so much. So on behalf of Michelle, Jenny, Sochi, Christo, Tasha, also Leslie, and Anita, my name is Lenzine, and we thank you so much. We love you, and we'll see y'all next week. Good night.
Thank you for watching